Hurricanes can be a lot scarier than we often realize, especially since they can actually trigger earthquakes. This surprising and frightening phenomenon, known as storm quakes, was discovered completely by accident not too long ago. It started with scientists trying to find out more about low-frequency earthquakes. We're talking about those earthquakes that are so weak that we can't actually feel the tremor. See, beneath our feet, the Earth is constantly vibrating in subtle, unceasing ways that we can't hear or see without the right equipment. This geologic hum, so to speak, is driven by the movement of oceans, which covers about 70% of our planet's surface. Scientists have found that this hum may actually provide useful records of environmental happenings. To figure out where it's coming from, experts use equipment known as seismometers. You can think of these devices as little ears pressed to the ground. They can pick up all sorts of vibrations, like fans jumping up and down at their idol's concert, airplanes flying by, or even super distant earthquakes shaking the ground. Very low-frequency earthquakes are hard to track over long distances because the signals they produce can look different on different measuring devices. To solve this problem, experts came up with a way to track these signals by combining readings from smaller areas, kind of like putting together a puzzle. But while doing this, they stumbled upon a strange set of events that looked a bit like the earthquakes they were studying, but were not exactly the same. The first weird thing they noticed was that this specific phenomenon was seasonal. It never happened between May and August, for example. That is completely different from earthquakes, which can pretty much happen any time of the year. The second strange thing is that earthquakes usually occur more in the western part of the United States, where the ground moves along cracks in the surface. But these new strange vibrations spread not just along the west coast of North America, but also over to the east side. So what could be triggering this new phenomenon? What they surprisingly discovered is that many of these tremors coincided with the same time that massive storms hit North America. So we are essentially talking about a chain reaction. What happens is that during a specific season, hurricanes or heavy storms can transfer energy into the oceans, creating very strong waves. These waves then interact with the solid Earth, producing intense seismic activity. These bursts of energy that are born from massive storms can radiate thousands of miles across continents, leading to what we now call storm quakes. It is believed that this phenomenon can trigger earthquakes at a magnitude of up to 3.5 on the Richter scale. This means it can be felt by many people, but normally doesn't cause any damage. But that doesn't mean we can all be relaxed now, as ocean waters can indeed increase the intensity of hurricanes. Just like what happened with the frightening Hurricane Milton, which recently left a path of destruction across Florida. The blue-purplish zone you're looking at is Hurricane Milton, seen from a satellite perspective. On October 9th, this hurricane sustained winds of 155 miles per hour and lashed the region with heavy rainfall, damaging winds, and life-threatening storm surges. Estimates show that the losses could be up to $34 billion, which could make it one of the costliest storms in United States history. What happened with Hurricane Milton was pretty tricky. It all started with some record hot water in the Gulf of Mexico. That warm water acted like a power-up, giving this hurricane the energy it needed to grow. And then, there was also this process called eye wall replacement that helped it get bigger too. We'll get to that in a moment. So as Hurricane Milton approached the coast, something unusual happened. It crossed paths with a fast-moving air current called the jet stream, which flows high up in the atmosphere. Now normally, the winds in the northern and northwest parts of a hurricane are not as strong as those in other areas. But because of this interaction with the jet stream, the winds in these parts of the storm became much stronger than expected. At nearly every turn, Hurricane Milton surprised everyone and intensified faster than we have seen in ages. It threatened to slam both Florida's west and east coasts with a dangerous surge of water, putting the bustling area of Tampa Bay, which is home to over 3 million people, at serious risk. So how did Milton become such a major problem? Well, the problem started in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Usually, hurricanes follow a fairly predictable path, spinning off of Africa's coast, sailing across the Atlantic, and gaining strength in the warm Caribbean waters. But Milton had a twist in its origin story. It began as the remnants of a tropical depression that crossed over the Yucatan Peninsula and met a stalled front in the Gulf. Once Milton got going, it didn't hold back. But when it hit those record-high ocean temperatures, it was like giving it an energy drink. The warm water and humid air were the perfect ingredients for a hurricane on the rise. Quickly, Milton's wind speeds increased by 92 miles per hour. So it went from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane in less than 2 days, which is basically insane and off the charts. And if that wasn't enough, Hurricane Milton also went through this thing called eye wall replacement. Now, hurricanes spin around a mostly clear eye in the center. But overnight, Milton started forming new bands of rain on its outer edges, creating a second ring around its eye. This process helped Milton grow even bigger, spreading out the wind speeds and giving it a larger footprint. It's kind of like shedding its skin and getting ready to become even more powerful. Hurricane Milton also had this little wobble in its path, which changed where it was heading. You can think of it like a spinning top that gets nudged and wobbles a bit before finding its balance again. That wobble meant some areas could get either hit hard or be spared from the worst of the storm. Thankfully, Hurricane Milton weakened a bit because of some tricky wind changes up in the atmosphere until it finally made landfall. After that, it moved across the peninsula and headed out to sea, quickly losing strength as it pulled away from the warmer waters. Now, even though the damage was significant, the good news, if you can call it that, is that experts were honestly expecting things to be way worse. Still, it raises a question. How close was Milton's wind speed to the maximum? Or, in other words, is there a limit to how strong a hurricane can get? Well, the answer is yes, there is a speed limit for hurricane winds, but it's not a set number. Right now, the strongest the storm can get is around 200 miles per hour. But that maximum speed can change depending on many factors, like the heat in the ocean. Think of the ocean as the fuel for hurricanes. The warmer the water, the more fuel these storms have to work with. Experts believe that as the oceans continue to warm, they can ramp up the wind speeds and the impacts of hurricanes, making them a lot stronger. But other things can also help figure out how intense a hurricane can get. For example, the heat in the air and the temperature at the top of the clouds matter, as they also affect how fast heat moves from the ocean surface to the top of the storm. Some estimates suggest that maximum wind speeds could reach closer to 220 miles per hour until the end of the century. So it's definitely something that experts need to keep an eye on to help prevent future disasters. As we move forward, it's essential to keep researching and studying these storms. The more we understand them, the better we can protect ourselves and our communities.
Nature can ruin your life with a tsunami, hurricane, tornado, rainstorm, and many other destructive events. But did you know that it also has other, weirder ways to destroy? Let's take a look at the most unusual natural phenomena. How about the orange rain? It's not that orange drops are falling on you. No, the whole sky and the atmosphere are turning dark orange. Orange clouds are pouring dirty orange drops on you. Don't worry, they're not poisonous, but watch your eyes. Don't let the drops get in because they contain sand particles. If you want to see this unusual phenomenon, go to the Canary Islands. Every year, the sky turns orange there and pours orange-red drops of water mixed with sand onto the ground. This phenomenon happens because of the Sahara. In the desert, strong winds blow millions of tons of dust and sand into the air. All this mess penetrates the atmosphere and turns the sky orange. Then, the particles from the Sahara fly toward the Canary Islands and fall on people in the form of heavy rain. Residents of this region experience breathing problems and poor vision in the orange conditions. Airports stop working. All flights are canceled. Under favorable conditions, a storm that carries sand particles can reach both the Mediterranean and Northern Europe. Therefore, if you suddenly see red rain, don't be scared. This is not the apocalypse. Warning, this kind of rain causes anxiety. During this phenomenon, you won't see drops of water. There will be spiders falling from the sky. People have faced spider rains in Australia, the United States, and the United Kingdom. These creatures are called money spiders, or sheet web weavers. During strong winds, they climb as high as possible to the tops of plants, bushes, and fences. Then, they release a parachute-shaped web, and the wind blows them into the sky. They fly high into the air, meeting birds, cold winds, and harsh weather. Not everyone can survive this journey. Then, when the weather calms down, this tiny party lands on the ground. No one knows why spiders behave this way. According to one version, they fly away from places where flooding can begin. In other words, it's a forced migration. And because of this migration, spiders often become the first settlers of territories that have been destroyed by fires or other natural phenomena. But don't worry, these creatures are harmless to humans. They just want to live and multiply. Although, to be honest, it's hard to stay calm when thousands of arthropods are falling on your head. Tornadoes are a destructive force. But look at this. A whirlwind appears during a snowstorm. It's sucking in more and more snow. Now, it's not just a tornado, but a snow-nado. It looks like something terrible and destructive, but don't worry, it's not as scary as it seems. This is a fairly rare disaster that has recently occurred in Utah. The snow tornado came across a man and his dog on its way. It looked impressive and dangerous. Fortunately, no one got hurt. This phenomenon occurs when an air vortex raises snow from the ground. If you see a similar vortex next to you, don't panic. Usually, such phenomena are harmless and don't have enough force to destroy things. This natural phenomenon is much more dangerous than the snow-nado. Just imagine that a mountain of chunks of ice is moving along roads, sweeping away everything in its path. It looks like a tsunami, but instead of water, there are ice boulders. The ice tsunami can destroy houses, cars, and trees. It can move on grass, asphalt, and sand. It can jump out of the water like a crazy salmon. Fortunately, the ice tsunami is not a frequent phenomenon. It occurs when three conditions are met: a flat coast, loose ice, and strong wind. Waves and wind are throwing broken pieces of ice onto the shore. These ice flows accumulate into a huge wall, and then, during strong winds, this ice monster begins to move. Therefore, if you see a large pile of ice near the water, move away from this place as far as possible. And we're back to the tornado again. You already know about snow tornadoes. You've probably seen the footage of tornadoes in a desert when the wind blows sand into the air in documentaries. Tornadoes pass over the ocean's surface and can create a funnel inside the water. But there's a phenomenon that's even cooler and more impressive. It's a fire tornado. Surely not many of you have heard about this thing. It's a very dangerous phenomenon, but people have ventured close to the fiery tornado to study it. But firefighters, by the way, often encounter this devastating phenomenon. A fire tornado forms during forest fires, and sometimes it can appear inside a burning building. If you see a big flame and feel a strong wind, be careful. A fiery funnel may form. But how does this happen? Let's first look at the origin of an ordinary tornado. So, we're somewhere in a dry place in the middle of a hot day. The sun heats the air that is close to the ground. Its lower layers absorb more energy than the upper ones. An increase in temperature makes this air less dense and more buoyant. Then it lifts into the sky in the form of long columns. This rise has a spiral movement. The water in your bathtub moves similarly when it flows through the drain hole. So many of these air vortices are quite weak, and you can't see them. But some of them encounter strong air currents. This accelerates their movement, adds energy, and increases the area. More and more air gets into this vortex, making it stronger. When dust and sand get into these whirlwinds, you see a tornado. The fire tornado follows the same pattern, with only one difference. The air below is heated, not by the sun, but by fire. Fire heats the air, it rises, rotates, and pulls the fire inside. Some of the vortices can reach up to 400 feet high and 50 feet wide. It's like a thin, leaning tower of Pisa, made of fire, only twice as tall. This is a truly devastating and terrifying phenomenon. The ground is shaking. Flocks of birds are flying away. You can hear a loud, low rumble. The volcano spits out a giant ash cloud. Lava is flowing from the mouth of the fiery mountain. Rivers of fire are running down and dashing towards you. You have nowhere to escape. The fire is getting closer and closer and… Wait a minute. This lava isn't hot. It's cold. How is that possible? You can observe cold lava flows near many volcanoes. In Indonesia, for example, this phenomenon has recently destroyed entire villages. Yes, it's not hot, but it's still dangerous. Cold lava streams occur when hot lava mixes with ash, sand, and pebbles during wet weather. In a sense, the volcano spews out streams of heavy mud. It covers roads, houses, cars, and trees. Cold lava flows are a destructive phenomenon, so stay away from them. Even if some volcano is very beautiful and you want to take cool photos, don't take any chances. Okay, let's relax a little and end our video with something fun. How about surfing? But instead of ordinary waves, we have icy ones. This phenomenon is called the ice wave. It looks as if someone paused a wave while it was forming before it hit the water. It's a rare occurrence, but you can find it on Mount Washington. The top of the mountain is shrouded in fog most of the year. Cold temperatures, humidity, and winds form frost. Then strong winds force this frost sideways, and thus a wavy shape forms. And when there's a wave, you can ski or snowboard inside, like a surfboard. But be careful, it's pretty cold in there, so wear warm clothes. If you were visiting Earth from another planet, your rational mind just wouldn't understand how singing dunes and moving balls of lightning were scientifically possible. I bet you'll feel like these images are just stills from your favorite sci-fi movie. You better hope you never find yourself alone near Catatumbo River in Venezuela during one of its lightning storms. Because if you were, you'd be surprised to find out that lightning works both ways, meaning it can come from the sky and from the ground. Terrifying, I know. Scientists think that in this case, it probably happens because of a high presence of uranium in the bedrock. But it can also happen due to cold and warm air currents that meet around that area. This makes the electric field get all charged up and the bolt flips, traveling from ground to cloud. Scientists even have a fancy name for it: upward lightning. This special place called Catatumbo River became famous because of its light shows. Actually, the name means House of Thunder in the local language. This phenomenon happens for up to 160 nights a year, and it can last around 9 hours a day. When scientists counted, they realized that the area could produce anything from 16 to 40 flashes of lightning per minute. Now, you've probably heard of Marco Polo, the 13th century Venetian merchant and world traveler. Well, in one of his voyages, he came across what he could only describe as singing dunes. The dunes literally started rumbling, like they were playing drums, and freaked him out so much he thought it was the works of evil, invisible entities messing with him. Fast forward to our times, and scientists have discovered how sand dunes produce these rumbles. A team of scientists studied a singing dune in Morocco. They chose a large, crescent-shaped one that makes noise all year round. If the wind is right, this dune can sing a few times every afternoon. It turns out that the wind forces sand to accumulate at the top of the dune until the angle of the slope reaches a tipping point of about 35 degrees. This accumulated sand drops down like an avalanche, and that's what produces a sound. The sand needs to be dry enough for the singing to happen, though. They're like nature's boombox. Isn't that something? This next one might be the most disturbing of them all. First, you'll see a flash of lightning, then a thundering boom, and finally, a curious light floating through the air and bouncing off surfaces like a white electric ball. Would you also hide under your blanket if you witnessed something like this? That's what an old lady did when she witnessed this from bed in her Chicago apartment. It turns out, people have been swapping their own ball lightning stories for hundreds of years. An English monk's report from the early 1000s might be the oldest version of these accounts. It talks about a fiery globe descending from a storm cloud and falling into the river Thames. The thing is, scientists aren't entirely sure what causes it, but one theory involves lightning striking silica-rich soil. This can vaporize silica, creating tiny particles bound by electrical charges. When these particles react with oxygen, they produce glowing orbs, which can last a few seconds. Some other theories say that it can be linked to miniature black holes, or even hallucinations. But the silica explanation is the best contender so far. What they know for sure is that ball lightning is often linked to stormy weather. If you'd wake up in the middle of a wintry night and saw these lights, you'd probably think otherworldly people were invading our world. Or you'd feel like one of the lucky people who got to see the northern lights during your lifetime. But none are correct. These beautiful shafts of pastel-colored light were photographed by a guy in Ontario, Canada. They happen when tiny, flat ice crystals that usually reside up in the atmosphere float closer to the ground. They're sometimes called columns of violet light, and they reflect light from sources like streetlights or cars. These reflections stretch into tall, colorful columns that look like they're glowing in the sky. The best part is that it's mostly an optical illusion. The pillars aren't really in the air. They're just a trick of light bouncing off the ice. Somewhere near Buffalo, New York, you'll find a surreal combination of the fire and water elements. This phenomenon is called the eternal flame falls, precisely because it never stops burning, even if it's so near the water. This is due to a chemical reaction where gas leaks out of the ground and combusts with the air. It's one out of a few hundred natural eternal flames around the world. But the 30 feet tall waterfall is probably the most beautiful one. Now, how does it get lit the first time around? Usually, eternal flames can be ignited by lightning, human activity, or something called piezoelectricity, which is basically when certain materials make electricity when you squeeze, press, or twist them. Scientists believe that Native Americans lit these flames thousands of years ago, but that's just a hunch. Have you ever imagined going for a midnight swim and suddenly finding yourself surrounded by a glowing blue haze? As if there were huge cannons of light coming out of the seabed directly into the surface. This phenomenon is rare, but it sure is magical. This chemical reaction is known as bioluminescence, and it can happen in different situations. One example is when tiny algae organisms migrate near the seashores. When these algae are disturbed, they try to defend themselves by glowing, and just happen to create the most beautiful spectacle. There's also a specific place in the world where you can see a similar phenomenon. It's in New Zealand. Hidden deep within the country's caves lie the so-called glowworms. They are the larval species of a fungus that happen to be luminescent. If you're lucky enough to tour around these caves, you'll feel like you're floating inside an underground galaxy. The sky can create lots of different cool phenomena, and this specific one is called a crown flash. If you were seeing it with your own eyes, you'd see a column of light jumping or dancing near the top of a cumulus nimbus cloud. Think of cumulus nimbus as massive, towering clouds that look like fluffy mountains. These are the clouds that usually announce thunderstorms, lightning, and heavy rain. Now, although you'd probably think crown flashes looked like some supernatural energetic door opening to the heavens, this is a very scientific phenomenon. It happens when sunlight reflects off tiny ice crystals inside the cloud. But here's the cool part. Those ice crystals aren't just floating around randomly. They're moving because of shifts in the cloud's electric field. As the field changes, the ice crystals realign, and the light they reflect moves too. That's why the crown flash looks like it's flickering or waving. Crown flashes don't happen all the time. You need a thundercloud with the right conditions, lots of sunlight, ice crystals, and a strong electric field. If you ever spot one, consider yourself lucky. It's like nature showing off a rare light trick. We usually see ever-burning hills in sci-fi movies, but this one is real. Located in the Arctic region of Canada, The so-called Smoking Hills is an unmatched sight on our planet. And here, things get even a little science fiction-y, since some minerals that exist in these hills were only ever found in a few places on our planet and outside it, like on the surface of Mars. The ground of Smoking Hills has been releasing smoke for at least a couple hundred years, non-stop. Explorers thought the area was home to an active volcano, but that was not the case. As science explains, the soil in the area is formed by sulfur and coal, and when they're in contact with oxygen, they spontaneously ignite, releasing constant smoke. I just warn you, don't be getting any touristic ideas. The environment is extremely hostile to human life, as the smoke is toxic and its temperatures are dangerously high. Salt makes our chips and popcorn taste yummy, but it turns out that's not all. It's used in household and industrial products, from cosmetics to fertilizers, from water treatment to road gridding. All over the globe, around 300 tons of salt are produced every year. But there's a problem. That's too much salt for our planet. You see, salt rises to Earth's surface from deep oceanic rocks gradually, and this process is quite balanced, or it used to be. Humans are pushing this balance out of whack. Our demand keeps increasing, and we're releasing too much salt into the soil, air, and sea. And if this process continues unchecked, we might face an existential threat. Yep, it's as serious as that, and a recent study conducted by the University of Maryland confirms this. There is this thing called the natural salt cycle. It's existed for thousands of years. Salt naturally rises to our planet's surface via geologic uplift and rock weathering. Sometime later, rocks break down and release salt ions into the soil. Some of these ions are absorbed by plants and organisms. Others are washed away into rivers, which transport them into oceans. Salt also gets into the atmosphere. It happens through salt dust in dry regions and sea spray in coastal areas. It's crucial for humans because our bodies need salt, just like animals and plants do. Simply put, we're electrical systems controlled by salts. Soil needs salt because otherwise it won't clump together. Plants also need small amounts of salt since those allow them to have proper metabolism and synthesize enough chlorophyll. At the same time, too much salt isn't a great thing. And nowadays, human activity is messing with the natural salt cycle, bringing salt to the planet's surface much more quickly than before. That's the conclusion researchers made after combining data from different sources, including the U.S. Geological Survey's Mineral Yearbook and global records of river compositions and salinity measurements. The main factor bringing about these changes is salt mining for food and other products. Then there are also acid rains. Those increase the rate of rock weathering. These and other factors speed up the generation of salt at the surface of our planet. At the moment, the concentration of salt in the world is too high. The soil, plants, and animals can't use all of it. Even worse, some essential species can't survive with all this extra salt. Their demise changes biodiversity and can lead to the appearance of invasive species, such as phragmites. Those are tall, reedy plants taking over coastal areas. Then, there's also zooplankton, an important ocean species regulating algae. It's extremely sensitive to salt. If this species starts to decline, it might mess with the world's food webs. Too much salt also turns farmlands into wastelands. Recent reports have shown that around 833 hectares of land are already affected. And that's the area around 4 times the size of India. In some countries, huge areas become infertile because of oversalination. Plus, excess salt is bad for our health. The thing is, all that extra salt gets into groundwater, making it too salty for human consumption. It's particularly bad for people with sodium-restricted diets. And I'm not only talking about table salt or sodium chloride. No, other calcium and magnesium-based salts are seeping out too, usually from the production of fertilizers and building materials. It's like a chemical cocktail of different salts coming from various sources, and scientists don't know yet the effects such a cocktail can have on us humans and our health. So, Maybe now you're sitting and thinking, oh, it's time to cut back on my salt intake. Perhaps, but don't cut it all out. In the 1930s, Dr. Robert McCants from Cambridge University's Department of Experimental Medicine found 4 volunteers and asked them to go 10 days completely without salt. First, they had to sweat out the salt that still remained in their bodies, and after that, the scientists literally desalinated everything they were allowed to eat and drink. Soon after, the participants started to experience weird sensations. They realized that they didn't taste much flavor in anything they consumed. It got worse. Fatigue set in, and the volunteers soon got too tired to even eat. They began to show the signs of hyponatremia. It occurs when the concentration of sodium in your blood is dangerously low, and that's when a person's blood cells swell because there's not enough salt in the blood to regulate how much water a cell should and will consume. If this condition is left untreated, it can not only result in seizures, but also have much, much worse consequences. At the end of the trial period, participants got some salty foods, and miraculously, within a few minutes, they could taste again, and their energy seemed to be replenished almost immediately. Honestly, it sounds kinda terrifying. If that's what a mere 10 days without salt are, imagine what catastrophe it would be if salt just ceased to exist. We wouldn't be able to last long, that's for sure. And it would be a never-ending drama, not only for us, but for plants and animals too. They need salt as much as we do. If our oceans suddenly lost all the salt, it would wipe out all underwater algae, cutting photosynthesis on Earth almost in half. Land-based plants would follow suit. So, soon after the disappearance of salt, we'd face a huge issue. Too much carbon dioxide and not nearly enough oxygen. Our climate would start fluctuating between extremely hot and cold temperatures, and hurricanes would become insanely powerful and super destructive. Luckily, we still have salt at our stores, and the natural salt cycle might get more or less stable again. By the way, humanity has known of and appreciated salt for many centuries. For example, it was used as offerings and to preserve mummies in ancient Egypt. It was a valuable commodity traded between the Phoenicians and their Mediterranean empire. In ancient China, people knew of more than 40 types of salt and used it for medicinal purposes. In medieval continental Europe, Venice gained power through its salt monopoly. The production and transportation of salt led to the appearance of new cities and the construction of roads. Salzburg, the city of salt in Austria, is a great example of that. Even these days, salt continues to surprise us. For example, recently, researchers from the University of Miami Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Science have discovered rare deep-sea brine pools in the Gulf of Aqaba. That's a northern extension of the Red Sea. Those salty underwater lakes are likely to hold secrets about the way oceans on Earth formed all those millions of years ago. They might also give us some clues to life on other planets. Brine pools are some of the most extreme environments on Earth. And still, despite their ultra-high salinity, somewhat exotic chemistry, and total lack of oxygen, they're teeming with life. Researchers have even found bioactive molecules with potential anti-cancer properties in brine pool microbes in the Red Sea. These super salty zero-oxygen brine pools are located close to the coast and might preserve information on tsunamis, earthquakes, and flash floods that took place in the Gulf of Aqaba thousands of years ago. Salt has even made its way into space. Well, kind of. You see, the moon is like a comet soaring through the cosmos. Our natural satellite is followed by a slender tail consisting of irradiated matter, and our planet passes directly through this tail once a month. Well, according to a study published in the journal JGR Planets, this lunar tail is made of millions of sodium atoms. And as you already know, the chemical formula of salt is sodium chloride. Those atoms get blasted out of the lunar soil by meteor strikes and then pushed thousands of miles downstream by solar radiation. For several days a month, when the new moon is located between Earth and the Sun, the gravity of our planet drags that sodium tail into a long beam, which wraps around our planet's atmosphere. The tail itself is harmless and invisible to the unaided eye. But during those new moon days, high-powered telescopes can detect the faint orange glow of sodium in the sky.
Welcome, dear listeners, to another episode of our podcast, where we journey into the captivating and often awe-inspiring world of natural phenomena. I'm your host, and today we're about to embark on an extraordinary adventure that will take us across continents and through time, exploring the myriad wonders that our beautiful planet has to offer. From the vibrant sun halos that grace the skies of Germany to the mysterious green skies of South Dakota, from the mesmerizing dance of starlings in northern Europe to the surreal landscapes shaped by shifting sand dunes, we'll traverse the globe and delve into the science and stories behind these phenomena. We'll explore the mysteries that surround these events, the intricate processes that give rise to them, and the profound implications they have on our understanding of the world. We'll unravel the threads of science and lore that intertwine to create the rich tapestry of our natural world. So, whether you're a seasoned explorer of the natural world or a curious newcomer, there's something in this journey for you. We'll delve into the heart of these phenomena, shedding light on their mysteries. And in the process, we hope to ignite your curiosity and deepen your appreciation for our incredible planet. So, sit back, relax, and prepare to be transported to far-off places and times as we journey through the wonders of our planet. Let's embark on this adventure together and discover the extraordinary in the ordinary. Let's get started. In the heart of Germany, atop the majestic Ohr Mountains, a spectacle of nature unfolds that is as breathtaking as it is magical. Imagine, if you will, the sun, that familiar celestial body we see every day, suddenly donning a vibrant party hat made entirely of rainbows. This is not a figment of the imagination, but a real, observable phenomenon known as a sun halo. As you gaze up at the sky, you see the sun encircled by a radiant halo, a ring of light that seems to dance and shimmer in the clear blue expanse. The colors are vivid, the spectacle is mesmerizing, and for a moment, time seems to stand still. It's as if the sun, that constant, unchanging star, has decided to throw a party and invited the entire world to witness its celebration. This halo is not just a beautiful sight, but a testament to the wonders of nature and the intricate dance of light and ice crystals in the high clouds. These tiny ice crystals bend and reflect the sunlight, creating a spectacle that looks like a halo lava lamp dance party. It's a sight that can inspire poets and ignite the imagination of artists. But as you stand there, captivated by the beauty of the sun halo, remember that it is also a harbinger of change. It might mean that bad weather is just around the corner. Yet, don't let this spoil your fun. Embrace the moment, take in the beauty, and perhaps even capture some great pictures. After all, nature's party doesn't last forever, and we are but privileged guests, invited to witness its fleeting, radiant spectacle. Now let's talk about sinkholes. Those sudden, unexpected openings in the earth are a phenomenon that can be as fascinating as they are dangerous. Imagine walking near your house and suddenly noticing crevices in the asphalt. It's an unsettling sight, a stark reminder of the unpredictable power of nature. These crevices could be the early warning signs of a sinkhole, a gaping void that could open up without warning. Now let's take this scenario inside your house. Doors begin to jam, there's a gap where the walls meet the ceiling, kitchen cabinets and drawers seem uneven, and the floors start to slant. Water leaks after every rain and the moldings are displaced. These are not random occurrences. They are silent whispers of the earth, subtle hints that a sinkhole might be about to open. The threat of a sinkhole is not something to be taken lightly. It's a call to action. It's a situation that requires immediate attention and professional help. An engineering company needs to be consulted to determine the extent of the danger and the necessary steps to mitigate it. Sinkholes are a stark reminder of the dynamic and ever-changing nature of our planet. They teach us the importance of vigilance, of paying attention to the subtle signs that the Earth gives us. They remind us that while we may build and live on the Earth's surface, we are ultimately at the mercy of its movements and changes. Imagine this. You're standing near a volcano, the ground beneath your feet humming with an energy that is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Suddenly, you hear a sound, a low rumble that seems to come from deep within the earth. It's a sound that is not quite audible to human ears, but you can feel it, a strange rumbling or hissing that seems to resonate with the very core of the planet. This is the sound of a volcano screaming, a harmonic tremor that often precedes an eruption. These volcanic sounds are not just random noise, they are the voice of the Earth, a language that speaks of the movement of magma bubbles vibrating as they pass through crevices in the Earth's crust. It's a symphony of nature, a concert of sounds that change over time, echoing the dynamic processes happening beneath the surface. But these sounds are not always the same. With some volcanoes, the sound is the result of magma getting pressurized in cracks and pipes, bubble explosions, and hot water systems near the surface of the volcano. As magma rises, gas builds up and cracks the surface open. The gas-rich magma creates a sound like a pipe organ, a volcanic tremor that is a sign that an eruption is coming. These volcanic sounds, or volcanoacoustics, are a testament to the power and mystery of nature. Listening to these sounds, we are given a glimpse into the heart of the Earth, a chance to hear the symphony of nature that is often drowned out by the noise of our daily lives. In the realm of natural phenomena, few things are as mysterious and captivating as earthquake lights. These are not your typical lights. They are ethereal illuminations that can appear before, during, or after an earthquake, adding an element of the surreal to an already intense experience. Imagine witnessing an earthquake, feeling the ground shake beneath your feet, and then seeing the sky light up with an eerie glow. These lights are usually white or blue and can last for a short time, but sometimes they can persist for up to 10 minutes. It's a spectacle that is as beautiful as it is baffling. The occurrence of these lights is not uniform. They can happen at different distances from an earthquake center, making them hard to study. But what we do know is that they only happen during powerful earthquakes that have a Richter scale rating of 5.0 or higher. Scientists believe that these lights may be caused by the release of ionized oxygen that occurs when certain rocks break apart. It's a theory that adds another layer of complexity to our understanding of earthquakes and the processes that accompany them. Earthquake lights are a testament to the fact that even in our advanced age of science and technology, there are still phenomena that we are only beginning to understand. They are a beacon of the unknown, a light that illuminates the mysteries of the Earth and invites us to explore further. Now let's move on to Colombia. In a place called La Macarena, there exists a spectacle of nature that is as enchanting as it is unique. It's a river that changes colors, a body of water that transforms into a liquid rainbow. This is not a trick of the light or a man-made illusion. It's a natural phenomenon, a testament to the wonders of our planet. As you approach the river, you see it change colors from red, yellow, green, and purple, depending on the light and water conditions. It's a sight that is as mesmerizing as it is beautiful, a living, flowing canvas of color that seems to defy the norms of nature. This amazing sight is caused by a very talented aquatic plant. This plant attaches itself to the rocks in the river and gives the water a reddish color. The water is also very clear, with very few particles floating in it, making the red pigments show even clearer. It's a dance of light and color, a spectacle that transforms the river into a living, flowing piece of art. But the river is not just a sight to behold. It's also home to a diverse range of fauna. Red macaws can be seen at this location as well as howler monkeys. It's a vibrant ecosystem, a testament to the richness and diversity of life on our planet. The liquid rainbow, or the river of five colors, is a reminder of the wonders that exist in our world. It's a symbol of the beauty and diversity of nature, a spectacle that invites us to marvel at the wonders of our planet and to appreciate the intricate balance of life that it sustains. Do you like the sea? In the vast expanse of the Wadden Sea region in northern Europe, a magnificent natural phenomenon takes place every fall and spring. It's a spectacle that involves not just hundreds or thousands, but approximately 1.5 million starlings. These birds flock to the same spot to rest in the tall grass for the night. But before the night settles in, a mesmerizing dance unfolds in the sky. As the starlings prepare to rest, they may find themselves surrounded by hungry birds of prey. In response, the starlings begin to move, their collective bodies forming intricate patterns in the sky. It's a dance of survival, a ballet of nature that is as captivating as it is profound. This spectacle is referred to as the Black Sun, It involves thousands to millions of birds flying in formation, their bodies moving in perfect harmony. Their synchronized flight is not just a sight to behold, but a strategy for survival. It makes it more challenging for predators to single out and capture some of the starlings. But beyond its survival aspect, the black sun is a testament to the beauty and complexity of nature. It's a spectacle that invites us to marvel at the wonders of our planet, to appreciate the intricate dance of life and survival that unfolds in our world every day. It's a reminder that even in the face of danger, there is beauty and harmony to be found. What do you think of endless deserts? Imagine standing near a vast expanse of sand dunes, the grains shifting beneath your feet, the landscape stretching out before you like a sea of golden waves. It's a surreal experience, one that transports you to a world that seems to exist outside of time. But these sand dunes hold more than just beauty. They are home to one of the most surreal phenomena on Earth. As you stand there, you might witness an optical illusion that transforms the landscape into a scene straight out of a fantasy novel. At dusk, the sunlight hits the waterfall in such a unique way that it makes it look like a river of lava or gold. It's a sight that is as mesmerizing as it is fleeting, a brief moment when the ordinary becomes extraordinary. This phenomenon is not a trick of the light or a mirage. It's an interplay of light and shadow, a dance of elements that transforms the landscape into a living, breathing work of art. It's a testament to the beauty and mystery of nature, a reminder of the wonders that exist in our world. So, the next time you find yourself near sand dunes, take a moment to appreciate the beauty around you. Look at the shifting sands, feel the grains beneath your feet, and if you're lucky, you might just witness the transformation of the landscape into a river of gold. It's a sight that is sure to leave you in awe of the beauty and mystery of our planet. Now let's talk about events that happened not too long ago. In July 2022, an event unfolded in South Dakota that captured the attention of the world. The sky, that familiar expanse of blue, suddenly turned an intense dark green. It was a sight that was as beautiful as it was eerie, a spectacle that seemed to belong more to the realm of science fiction than reality. The sky over the city of Sioux Falls and a few other towns took on a hue that locals had never seen before. It was as if nature had decided to paint the sky in a new color, transforming the ordinary into something extraordinary. The images of this green sky quickly spread across social media, captivating people around the world with its unusual beauty. But this green sky was not a supernatural phenomenon. It was a play of light and atmosphere, a spectacle that usually means that really bad weather is approaching. Just before people started sharing photos, a thunderstorm swept through the town of Sioux Falls. This was confirmed by the U.S. Weather Service. The storm was terrible, with wind speeds reaching about 100 miles per hour. The green sky of South Dakota is a testament to the fact that even in our modern world, there are still phenomena that can surprise and captivate us. It's a spectacle that invites us to look up at the sky and marvel at the wonders of our planet. Let's talk about volcanoes again. Imagine standing near a volcano, the ground beneath your feet trembling with the raw power of the earth. Suddenly, the sky lights up with a spectacle that is as awe-inspiring as it is terrifying. It's a thunderstorm, but not your typical storm. This is a dirty thunderstorm, a phenomenon that occurs during a volcanic eruption. As the volcano erupts, it sends a plume of ash and smoke into the sky. But within this plume, something extraordinary happens. Lightning begins to crackle, illuminating the darkened sky with flashes of light. It's a sight that is as mesmerizing as it is fearsome, a testament to the raw power of nature. But what causes this dirty thunderstorm? It's a result of the ash particles from the volcano rubbing against each other, creating a static charge. When this charge becomes too great, it discharges as lightning, creating a spectacle that is as beautiful as it is terrifying. A dirty thunderstorm is the unseen forces that create the landscapes we see today, witnessing not just a sight to behold, but an experience that brings us face to face with the raw power of nature. We've already talked about hot places. Let's talk about cold places. In the heart of winter, when the air is crisp and the night sky is clear, a spectacle unfolds that is as breathtaking as it is magical. Giant rays of light shoot up into the sky, creating a sight that is as mesmerizing as it is beautiful. These are light pillars, a natural phenomenon that transforms the ordinary into something extraordinary. As you gaze up at the sky, you see these pillars of light reaching up into the heavens. They are not beams of light from the ground, but rather the result of a beautiful interplay of light and ice crystals in the atmosphere. These tiny ice crystals reflect the light, creating a spectacle that looks like giant pillars reaching up into the sky. The sight of these light pillars is not just beautiful, but also a testament to the wonders of nature. It's a reminder of the beauty and mystery of our world, a spectacle that invites us to look up and marvel at the wonders of our planet. It's a sight that is sure to leave you in awe of the beauty and mystery of our world. So, the next time you find yourself under a clear winter sky, take a moment to look up. You might just witness the spectacle of light pillars, a sight that is sure to leave you in awe of the beauty and mystery of our planet. How long has it been since you just looked up at the sky? Picture this. You're standing outside, looking up at the sky, when you notice something unusual. The clouds overhead are not the typical fluffy white formations you're used to seeing. Instead, they're bubble-like, hanging down from the sky like cotton balls. These are mammatus clouds, a unique and fascinating weather phenomenon. Mammatus clouds are pouch-like cloud structures. They're a rare sight, but when they do appear, they're a sign that a thunderstorm is on its way. These clouds are often associated with severe weather conditions, and their appearance can be a signal to take cover. But while they may be a harbinger of stormy weather, there's no denying the beauty of mammatus clouds. They create a stunning visual effect in the sky, a spectacle that is as beautiful as it is ominous. The setting sun can illuminate these clouds, creating a breathtaking display of light and shadow. But when a thunderstorm rolls in and lightning begins to flash across the sky, it's not just a spectacle to behold, but also a signal to take precautions. Lightning is a powerful force of nature, and it's important to know how to stay safe when it strikes. If you find yourself outside during a lightning storm, the first thing to do is to seek shelter. Buildings and cars can provide protection from lightning strikes, but if shelter is not available, there are still steps you can take to reduce your risk. One of the key things to remember is to make yourself smaller than the objects around you. If you're in an open field, for instance, crouch down low, but don't lie flat on the ground. This reduces your height and makes you a less attractive target for a lightning strike. It's also important to stay away from tall objects like trees, which can attract lightning. Similarly, avoid standing near metal objects, which can conduct electricity. If you're near water, move away as quickly as possible, as water can also conduct electricity. Lightning safety is not just about knowing what to do during a storm, but also understanding the power and potential danger of lightning. So the next time you see a lightning storm, remember these safety tips and respect the power of nature. As we conclude this journey through the fascinating world of natural phenomena, it's clear that our planet is a place of wonder and mystery. From the colorful sun halos of Germany to the green skies of South Dakota, from the mesmerizing dance of starlings in Northern Europe to the surreal landscapes of sand dunes, each phenomenon we've explored today is a testament to the beauty and complexity of our world. These phenomena are not just sights to behold, but also reminders of the dynamic processes that shape our planet. They invite us to look beyond the ordinary, to appreciate the beauty and mystery of our world, and to remain curious about the wonders that it holds. So, as we wrap up this episode, let's take a moment to appreciate the beauty of our planet. Let's marvel at the wonders of nature, from the smallest ice crystal that creates a sun halo to the powerful forces that create a dirty thunderstorm. Let's remember to stay curious, to keep exploring, and to keep learning about the world around us. After all, our planet is a place of endless wonder, and there's always more to discover.